Hi, this is Anna Lowe, and today I'm going to talk about how I pick the artworks that feature in my new Château Nocturne series, which has magic, shifters, vampires, and an art heist. Or artworks, book one is an art heist, and there's different artworks that will appear in every different book, in the 5 books of the series. In a different video, I talked about how I got the inspiration for the setting, the chateau, and the idea for the backdrop and what drives the series. But here I'll talk about the artwork. So I've long been a fan of the artist Franz Marc. This is one of his paintings. So I knew about this one for a long time. I'm also kind of enjoy learning about history, World War II history. I think I get that from my dad. I used to watch war documentaries with him. He was also an artist, by the way. So I know about things. I love the artist Franz Marc, and I know about things like this work of art called The Tower of Blue Horses, which is actually lost. So he painted it before World War I. He actually died in World War I, sadly. This work of art went to, I think, the collection of Goebbels, one of the Nazis in World War II, one of the top-ranking Nazis, and I think it was him. Don't hold me to that, but it got into it. It was taken from a museum and put in his private collection, as far as I understand, and it disappeared. At the end of the war, obviously in wartime, there's a big mess, and many worse things happened than just quote-unquote artwork going missing. But that was a time of great upheaval, not just obviously in people's lives, but in the art world. So this painting, sadly, for real, in real life, has been missing. This is actually, this is a postcard that I bought, but when Franz Marc painted the painting, and I think 1913, it looks like it was made, he then painted a postcard size version, sent it to a friend and said, here's my new artwork. It's called The Tower of Blue Horses. So that's how we know how it looked, but it's been lost since 1945. So I knew about this. I was starting to write this new series, and I knew I wanted to have art, like art heists and artworks as a theme in it. And where did I get that? Partly from this book. So this is The Monuments Men. You probably have heard of the movie with George Clooney and other people. You can see how well I remember it. It was a great movie, but the book is even better. So after I saw the movie, I was like, wait, I want to know more. And I bought the book. It's got so much information, so much more that's in the movie. The movie kind of made up a lot of stuff too, which the book is purely fictional. It's almost 500 pages, really interesting book. Reading that kind of, got my mind on how works of art were moved around, lost in different ways, some recovered. The author, Robert Edsel, got so kind of deeply involved in this theme that he started a foundation to try to help find works and get them back to, if not the original owner, then the rightful owner or the heirs, because in many cases these works of art were confiscated or sold under duress or simply stolen. When I looked at, just out of interest, I looked at the foundation, I saw that they offer, among other things, on their website, they have a deck of cards called World War II Most Wanted Art. And I thought, oh my God, I'll get this deck of cards, regular deck of cards, but every piece, every card has a different artwork that was lost, in some cases recovered, but in many cases they're still missing. And I thought, well, what a great way to get ideas, because I only really had Franz Marc in mind, and I have 5 books, right? So, this is a cool trick that I use to be like, what artwork will I put in this book today? So I saved Tower of Blue Horses for book 2. Book 1, Brushed by Moonlight. I went through my little cards, and I was like, what would be a good card? What would be a good artwork? And I picked this one. I'm just trying to figure out, is it blurry? Is it my eyesight? So Van Gogh, Painter on the Road to Tarascon, missing from the Neustrassfurt salt mine in Germany. This painting may have survived the fires that broke out in the mine after the arrival of U.S. Army forces, April 12, 1945. So may have survived. Nobody knows. It hasn't. It's a mystery to this day. So what better artwork than to put into my story, Brushed by Moonlight? It appears in read the book, you'll find out how it appears. It appears among other lost artworks. And I wanted another one, so I was like, oh, cool, Monet, Thaw. That sounds good. So actually Monet's Thaw, which actually has been recovered. It's in a private collection in Russia. Actually, it doesn't mean it's been recovered, because look, it was stolen and it's currently in a private collection. So in Russia. So in other words, when Russia was advancing through Germany at the end of the war, they took what they found as war reparations. So a lot of works, we don't know exactly where they are, and a lot of times it's denied that they took them, but it's presumed to be in a collection. Anyway, those two feature in book 1. So every time I need a new idea, so book 3 I'm writing right now, I kind of went through my deck of cards, what artwork would be cool, and I picked this one. Focus, here we go. Claude Monet's painting called Manet, Painting in Monet's Garden. So Monet was friends with Manet and Renoir, actually, and they would come over to his property, his garden, where he painted the famous water lilies, and they would paint there too. And on one occasion, it's kind of like doing a selfie. Manet started painting, and Monet was like, oh, no, I guess he thought, he's like, what a cool idea for painting. And he got his paints out and started painting Manet as Manet was painting Monet's family. So stay tuned, that's in book 3. What happens in book 4 and 5, you shall see. But anyway, that's how this real-life book, this non-fiction book, inspired elements in this totally fictional paranormal romance with an art heist. So I hope you found that interesting. Do look up my other video where I talk about how I got the idea for the chateau, the location, and so on, because I think that's a lot of fun too. Okay, thanks for tuning in.